He's close. I mean, we anticipate he's going to contribute on Saturday. Just looking at his preseason, he had 6 weeks. The physical component of that preseason was good.
Yeah.
And so, we just looked at that data just to help gauge, where he's at, and then, obviously talk to him. But he's been really strong in his short amount of time with us, and physically looks to be in a good place.
And you're the one game, excuse me, the one game at a time mentality that you kind of put forth to the first team for all games. How does that jive with like the possible consequences of not getting a result in this particular game, just based on what that would do to the gap between yourselves and Miami with the games left? And is this a rare moment where you might allow yourself to think of the game within a little bit of a broader context?
As far as the importance of it, and who we're behind, being Miami, the significance of a result is certainly important when you look at the end of the season, and trying to be at home in the playoffs. So right now we're 5 points behind, and trying to close that gap. So it'll certainly be challenging to catch them if we don't get a result, and that's our goal, to think about this game and think about how we can go get a result against a very good team.
What kind of team are you expecting? I mean, it's been a little while since they've also played. They had some injuries through League Cup. They also were missing guys the last time you played them.
Yep.
I mean, what's kind of your...
A very good team, but it'll look, what we anticipate, completely different than our last matchup. I looked at the potential starting group. There's 6 guys that could be on the field that, or up to 6 guys on the field, maybe more, that weren't on the field. And you look at the pieces that have been, contributing, all season, and more recently with Alba back, with Suarez back, the level that they're at, and the way that they, produce for them is still at a very high level. Gomez wasn't on the field to start the last matchup. Rojas, Martinez, potentially Avilas. So you're looking at a totally different game in terms of personnel. But right now they have very good depth. They have so many options to put out on the field, and that means that they're going to have strong players coming off the bench to help impact the game. So it'll be a really good challenge for us.
Is this one an especially tough one for you to miss, just given your red card situation?
Yeah, it will be. It's never enjoyable not being on the sideline. I've experienced that now once, and I didn't enjoy it. But I have obviously a lot of trust and faith in our guys to go and get the job done, both staff and players. So we know what it looks like, and we'll stick to the same routine.
Thank you for letting me cut in here. I wanted to ask you, I was not expecting at Red Bull Arena to see you walk out of one of the side, like the training room, when we were interviewing Roman Celentano.
Yeah.
What are you actually allowed to do? How close can you get to the team? Is it just a bench thing? Can you tell us what the rules are?
The routine up until we get off the bus is the same.
Okay.
And then once we get off the bus, I go my own way. So I go upstairs.
You can't be in the locker room.
Correct. So, and then until the conclusion of the game, then I can go back down and be in the locker room.
Okay.
So just nothing in between, and no communication.
No communication.
Yeah.
Awesome. Go to Tucker. Pat, you just mentioned how the personnel is going to be really different from the last time you played them to today. The last time you played them, you found a lot of success, especially with the way the scoreline went out. Do you feel like while the personnel may be different, the philosophies or the things that got you that win may be useful or help you find similar success this time?
Hopefully. Like I said, with different personnel playing, at their place, it's going to look different. It's going to feel different. And certainly we had a lot of good moments in that first matchup, but as much as we want to use some of that stuff to help our preparation, we need to push aside the result and understand that it's just going to be a very challenging game, So we looked at a little bit of our game, a little bit of their most recent games, because it was good to see, the matchups against Puebla and against Tigres and how they approach those opponents, and then the Columbus matchup a little bit different with their shape. So you get to see a couple different things and try to prepare in a good way and know that no matter how good our preparation is, we have to perform. And it comes down to being very disciplined with our organization defensively against teams that a team that even when you think you get the pressing moments right and you think you're organized, they have players across the board that can open up the game with individual moments of being able to play through that pressure and break pressure. So that's going to be a challenge. And then when we have the ball, we need to understand that their pressures looked a little bit different from what we've seen, stepping up in a good way, and we need to be prepared for that.
And then on Nico, does having a player who has experience in this league, and a player that you've been able, having a player come in who's had experience in this league, make his integration into the team easier, and does it make your integrating him into the team easier because you have a reference point to kind of point to?
I think so. He knows what this league is about. He has familiarity with guys on our team, and what Miami's going to look like. These are players that he's faced. With our opponent, there's players on our side that he kind of has a familiarity with. So probably knows a few of their strengths and weaknesses. But he's integrated himself in a really good way, and I think it's looked the way it has on and off the field because of his understanding of our team and what he's getting into and the league as a whole.
Do you mind if I ask, just to follow up with that, what is it about his game that gets you excited or intrigued for what he could do for this?
I think he can be utilized in a couple different attacking positions. That's what we're still trying to identify is within our group what's the strongest spot for him. But you can see he takes in information well, and has come from his time in Orlando and in St. Louis, and now most recently in Como. He's had different types of playing styles and can adapt and take in information and try to apply it the right way. I think when you're giving new players in a new environment information, how do they look to apply that immediately, and smart players I think can figure those things out and take that information and maybe put aside previous habits or playing styles and adjust and be open to new things, and then ask the right questions. So that's kind of what we've seen in this short time that we've been working together.
Thank you.
Laurel,
Sure.
How's Lucho doing? Coming back from
Better.
break, and then is there a timeline for Yamil that you can share? I think last time was
Lucho's better. He'll be good to go, and then Yamil timeline still uncertain. He's had one, I think, day where there was still some discomfort. This is the first time that he's dealt with a knee problem like this. So when you start to feel better and think maybe, all right, I can push this a little bit quicker, you realize that maybe that's not possible. But the hope is that we're about a week away, but that timeline is, still to be determined.
Quick apology. You called me out on the communication piece of your suspension. I just didn't know that was a component of it. So
Okay.
yeah.
You did some Googling while we were talking?
No.
Wow.
But I'm apologizing for my reaction to what you said.
That's all right.
But with Lucho, this is kind of old history now because the All-Star
Yeah.
game was a month ago. But the fact that he started that game, went 45 minutes, it just sticks out in the course of his recovery for me. Do you, looking back, is that something you would have preferred maybe now to have held him back from? I understand maybe there's like some league rules about participating in it if you are elected to the game, but do you wish he could have, if that's the case, do you wish he could have had some flexibility there?
No. He loves the opportunity to go and represent FCC and himself. And I don't think in that moment he was in a really bad way. I think he was okay. And he's had a setback or two just in terms of the recovery and the discomfort. And it's just, kind of the pain management. And then there's things that have happened since then that, we've had either time to let him recover a little bit, or there's just been more discomfort than anticipated. And he's a tough kid and very rarely misses training sessions. So this is relatively new for us, not having him out there every single time he's dealing with something. But no, I don't look back at that and think that was a setback. Yeah. That was still a good moment for him, and he got through that in a good way. It was, in the aftermath of it, really.
So, can I just follow up on, did you guys learn any, with managing him, because he has played through things, like you said, in the past, just with the way the season kind of ended last year, it seemed like guys were kind of wearing down. Are you managing him are you dealing with that a little bit differently than maybe last year? Or?
No, just more communication, just checking in, because, sometimes you assume that he's going to be out there and you assume he's going to, tough it out. But he was experiencing more pain than usual in the last month. And so we just tried to manage it in a way that gets him back playing at the level prior to, I guess you would say that Red Bull game. So that was our goal, and that'll still be the plan. We'll try to continue to push him in a way where, even though he's missed some time, now we want to have a process that gets him back, where it doesn't just throw him out there and extend him more than we need to in the short term, for the understanding that the long term is going to be more important. And how he finishes out the year and the form that he's in is going to be a priority for us to have success.
Pat, thank you so much.
Thank you.